Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Very, very exciting day today. We're going to be talking about the hard truths of success. This is one of those things that I think pop up a lot of times for different people, and we need to start to recognize and try to figure out what is going on here and how it is we can start to become successful, because we're all trying to do it. And the question really is like, okay, so what's the truth about it? And I was journaling this morning, and one of the questions I was asking myself, because I wanted to take a step back a little bit, and I needed to ask myself one of the themes. Let's take a step back from that. One of the themes that I've been sharing a lot over the past couple of years has been really do all that you can. Like try to live the life that you want. Live that life of creativity. Live that life of not the default lifestyle that you're looking to live, but the life that you want to be living. And I asked myself a question today while journaling. I think it was really, really powerful. And the question was, is it possible? Like, is it really possible? Like true talk. Like, okay, it's nice, man. It's like really nice motivation. It's really nice and exciting. Is it really possible to be living that life that you want to be living? Is it really possible to do all the things that you want to be doing? Is it really realistic? And I think for so many of us, we have this hope and desire, maybe it's optimism of, yeah, I could do like everything. I can literally do so much in my life. I can accomplish so much. I can make as much money as I want. I can have the best relationships that I want. I could be the healthiest that I want. I could be the happiest that I want. I think so many times we get a little tricked because we say those things, but we don't really recognize what it takes to get those things. And I think that is one of the biggest tricks. And I think our expectations are off. And when I asked myself that question, and after journaling about it, and I'll probably go through a bunch of those those ideas today, I asked, I really believe that it is possible. Saying that there, I really believe we can live such incredible lives. I think there are things that hold us back. Most of the time, I think it's us. I think there's different strategies that hold us back. There's different mindsets that hold us back. I think we have the ability to do such incredible things, life-changing things, and they could be big things for the world, or they can be small things for just us and our families. And that really depends on the person. And everyone's into their own thing. Some people want to just be totally fine in their own 4 feet, and other people want to really start to make the impact. And what I think we really need to start to recognize and start to feel is, how is it that we're supposed to be doing this? Like, okay, so it's true, but like realistically, Bennett, come on, like, you serious? Like, yeah, okay, like really, is it really true? And I think so many times, I think they're different people. I think they're the people who look at that type of question and just brush it off. They're like, okay, is it really possible? No, it's not possible. I'm just going to go do my own thing. And they do their own thing. And I think I would say that's like 60% of people. 60% of people don't really think it's possible based on past experiences, based on, life eating at them, life destroying them, and all this stuff. I think there's a lot of people, I would say about, let's say 30% of people, 35% of people who really believe it is true, who want to be able to say, I can do what I want to be doing, how I want to be doing it. But then they don't take the action. They don't know how to take the action. They don't know where to take the action. They want to believe it's true, possibly. But when it comes to the way that they live their life, they're not necessarily living it the same way. And then you have the last 5% of people who start to move forward. And whether they succeed at the thing that they're looking to accomplish or not, they are constantly looking to take advantage of the stuff that they're looking to take advantage of. They're looking to at least initiate. And probably 1% of the people, I know we already got 100%, but like probably 1% out of the 5% probably actually succeed at it. And I don't necessarily think that's based on the person. I think it could be strategy. It could be different ideas that are going on. Of course, as a religious person, I think God has a big impact to that in terms of it as well. But I think so many times people get so scared that they can't even jump in. And it's interesting because the more research I've been doing, just in terms of like YouTube and content creation, there are so many people who are just in the beginning stages of their careers or their ideas or the content that they might be tasting. So whether it's my content, whether it's bigger people's content, and these bigger influencers, they show their polls in terms of like what level that people are at, and most of the times people are just beginning. And I think the reason is because so many people are just get scared to start. And if we can start to say to ourselves, what is really possible? Is it possible? I think that's the first question we need to ask ourselves before we even jump into anything. Because we don't ask ourselves that question, it's always going to be creeping back in our mind, like, it's not really possible. Like, I'm trying, it's just not working. It's not for me. And we really need to ask ourselves, like, is it really not possible? Can I really not do that thing? And that thing could be something as big as a business idea and you're making lots of money, or it could be writing a book. It could be creating a course. It could be learning how to juggle, learning how to play a sport. It could instrument. It could literally be anything. Because how many times have we had the idea where I wanted to do something and then all of a sudden look back and you're like, shoot, I never took advantage of it. Or like I learned one chord, but like I never stayed consistent with it. How many times did I learn one or two chords on guitar? Probably I would say 3 or 4 times in my life. And I just never stayed consistent with it. So can you really upset that I'm not good at guitar? Like, no, I just never like committed to it. I might have had the wrong strategy. Maybe it wasn't as serious as I should have been when I wanted to start out. For so many people, they want to be able to be successful. They want to be able to do things, and they see other people. And this is something that I got. Not just transparent with you. One of the things that happened after I wrote my second book. So, and I'll tell you what on behind the scenes with the second book. So after I wrote my second book, one of the people in our community, he reached out to me and he said, Bennett, like, I'm so impressed at like what you're doing. This is amazing. But like on the other hand, like I feel like garbage. Like, you literally wrote like 2 books. I'm doing nothing. I'm on social media all day. Like, what am I supposed to do? And I sort of like, it was giving some like brotherly love in terms of like, stop comparing yourself and like, do you do your thing? And like, what's the first step and get there? And I started to tell him like what really went on. This book idea, I literally had for about 15 years. Like 15 years, I've been thinking I want to write this book. And about 10 years ago, I decided to say, 5 years ago, 10 years in, 5 years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start to just jot down ideas. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to start to jot down ideas. And then slowly but surely, I ended up moving it forward. I ended up getting it down, into the line. And then I had to raise like a lot of money, which was very uncomfortable. And then I ended up raising the money. And then I had to go through the publishing process. And I had to go through that whole thing, and the editing and going back and forth. And then even at the end, there was like a lot of confusion and a lot of just non-communication. All these things were happening. And then we finally got to the finish line. And then people were like, oh my gosh, you created a book. That's amazing. And I'm like, it's been 15 freaking years. And you need to ask ourselves, like, what's the thing we've been wanting to do? Is there anything on your end that you've been wanting to do for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, something that you have that you're like, I really wish I could have done X, Y, and Z. And we need to ask ourselves, like, what are the steps? Because so many times we don't realize that it's really just small steps that we can take. Because if I told you have to write a book in the next 15 years, do you not think you can figure it out? Like, you probably could figure it out. And if you're like, no, well, I'm really, really busy and I have other priorities and this and that, then it's like, okay, so like do it for 5 minutes a day. In 15 years, it'll still be finished. And what we need to ask ourselves is like, number one, is this a priority? Like, maybe it's not a priority. Because I think at a certain point, realistically, we have to understand how many things are on our to-do list. How many ideas do we want to be getting done? What is the lifestyle we want? And if we want to be growing a $1 billion business and we want to be spending 20 hours a day in our business, so when you look back the other side, like, we're not going to have any time with our family or our health or religious life. So of course, like, there's not going to be this balance there. And you need to be realistic with it. And I think a lot of people wake up too late. Or just, I wouldn't say too late, but I would say wake up late enough where they're like, oh my gosh, like, I really messed this up. And that's like, even in my 30s, I'm like looking back, shoot, 20s, what did I do with them? I really messed that one up. I'm like, I don't want to mess up my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way, till I die. And we need to ask ourselves, like, what is it we can start to do now? Because yes, we could look back and be upset and annoyed and frustrated that nothing worked out. Or we could look forward to be like, okay, I have the next X amount of years to be working on a project that I want to be working on. And that is the thing we need to be focusing on, because so many times people don't realize that they have the ability. And there are people out there who are you can literally go to YouTube and search anything you want to start doing it. And you might be saying to yourself, well, I don't know where to start. Well, nobody knows where to start. Everyone's trying to figure it out. And everyone is starting from different places. So just start wherever you think you should be starting. get that accountability, find that person to help you be able to take that action. Because it could be something that could be life-changing, and you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Some people are like, well, Ben, you wrote 2 books. I'm like, yeah, but I have so many other things I want to be doing. Like, I'm not even looking at about the books. I'm very grateful. I'm very proud of myself that I did that. But that doesn't make me who I am. That's not me. I want to be doing so much more. I feel like I'm not doing enough. It's just a different perspective. Am I looking in the past or am I looking in the forward? Even if you don't have clarity of what that thing is. And there are times in my life where it is so unclear, where I'm such a gray fog. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing and what it is that I want to be doing. And I am so lost and so confused, even though I wrote literally a book on like lost then found, but so confused in terms of like what the future is going to look like. But I know it's going to be more. And for me, that drive, that energy that I have is so exciting. It's so powerful to know that, hey, you know what? I don't know what it's going to be, but I know I want it to be bigger. I know I want to push myself just a little bit. I want to be a little bit more uncomfortable. So I know that I can grow. And I think the expectation that people have of success is just totally off. People want something. They really, really want something, but that doesn't change anything. That doesn't get you to action. You literally just have to start moving. Think about anything that you've accomplished. Something small, something you did in a project you did in elementary school. You literally had to do the work. As much as like you maybe wanted or not wanted to do the project, you literally had to sit down, write the paper, make the volcano, right? You know what I'm talking about. This, we all know what I'm talking about, like this science project with the volcano. So like we all have to figure out what it is we want to be doing and just start to take the actions. And you might say, well, you know what? I have a million things I want to be doing. Well, you have to prioritize because you're not going to be able to do everything. And I think at the end of our lives, we're probably going to have a long list of things that we wish we would have done. And I think that's everybody. And if that's the case, and that we're going to have that list at the end of our life, well, at least let's not let the list stop us from doing 10 of those things or 5 of those things. Because so many times people have such a long list, like, I don't know where to start. Just start and pick something. Get a small win. Pick something that's exciting to you. Pick something that you know that you can do. I'm working on a project right now that should be taking me about 5-6 years. There's a 5 or 6 year project. And it's one of those things that I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I should just double down my time now, try to do it in 2.5 years. Because I don't know what's going to happen in 2.5 years. 5 years is a big commitment. And it's one of those things that's like an extra side project. So it's not even like me helping my business. So I don't know where my business is going to be. I don't know where my family's going to be. I don't know where I'm going to be living. I have no idea what's going to be happening. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just double down, get it done the next 2.5 years, commit it. It's a smaller commitment time in terms of like length of years. And like, this is my project for the next 2.5 years, and that's it. And then I'm going to look back 2.5 years from now. I'm so grateful I did that. It could be that, 5 years is going to be totally fine. But what could end up happening is that it ends up getting delayed. It ends up getting pushed off. And I think for so many of us, we need to like really figure out what's going on. Like, what is our project? What is it that we want to be doing? What are the type of relationships we want to be having? What about our health? That's one of the things I'm hoping in the next couple of years, probably hopefully sooner than later, I'm going to be stepping up my health. Like I tell my wife, there's going to be a time where I'm probably not going to be eating sugar anymore. Like I'm just like on that trajectory. I used to be a guy who used to pound sugar in my coffee. And then I started saying, oh my gosh, I'm taking tablespoon after tablespoon in my coffee. Like, this is not good. And then I'm like, one day I called my wife's grandmother who's in her 90s. And I said, Safta, like, what's going on? Like, how do you not put sugar in your coffee? And she was like, I just don't. I never grew up with that. And after a few more words, I'm like, all right, I guess there's nothing really to it. And I just stopped. And ever since that day, I haven't put sugar in my coffee. Sometimes I will put sweetener in terms of like, some flavors if it's a special occasion. I recently just got one from Dunkin' Donuts, which was really good. I'm like, shoot, this is not good because it was so good. But okay, so a handful of times in the past, 4 years or so. So we need to understand ourselves, like, what is it that we're going to be doing? Like, what is it that we want to be doing? What is our ideal? And even if it doesn't happen, like, I know I want to be doing the health thing, but like, I know right now I don't have the bandwidth for it. And maybe that's a belief, to be like really frank. If I had the right support and the right accountability, then I can start to do that. I just know that I have so much energy put into other things that I don't want to burn myself out. I know myself. And we all need to figure it out for ourselves. So is it really possible? I really believe it's possible, but I also really understand that it's very difficult. Like, it is very hard, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. It doesn't mean just because our expectation is off that we don't have the ability to take the action. We don't have the ability to start moving forward and to do all that we want to be doing. Don't let it scare you, because so many people get so stuck in starting. Don't be the 60%. Don't be the 35%. Be the 5% who start to take that action. Because what ends up happening is we beat ourselves up and we beat ourselves up and we tell ourselves the story that it's not possible. It's not possible. Probably because when you were 18, 19 years old, you had an idea, you really wanted to do it, you didn't take advantage of it. And then the next idea came, you're like, I can't do it because I'm not that person. I'm not that person. And then 15, 20, 30 years later, you come up in your life and you're like, oh my gosh, all this time, I've just been not taking advantage of it. And what we need to understand is we need to take advantage. We need to start slowly. We need to start building, getting those wins for ourselves. It's the only way we're going to start to see the things that we want to be seeing in our life. You're going to look back and you're like, OMG, I can't believe I did so much. Because that is what we need to be doing. Start figuring out what it is you want to be doing. Start taking small actions. Do something silly, like look up a YouTube video. Do something to start to take that action. Get those wins and start to tell yourself, I am somebody who can do something bigger than I'm doing now. You don't have to be stuck in the little life that you're living now. It is possible. Are you going to be able to do everything? No, you're not going to be able to do everything. But you will be able to do a lot more, and it's going to be so worth it. Even though you won't be able to do everything, you'll be able to do most things. You'll be able to do so much more than you really think you're capable of. So stop getting overwhelmed by the amount of it, the abundance of it. Stop getting so defended when something doesn't work out. It's like when I post a YouTube video, it doesn't do well. And it's like, why am I getting 20 views on a video? I literally put in hours. It's like, well, you got to get better, Bennett. All right, let's get better. And let's keep pushing it and keep moving forward. And once we could do that, then we have the ability to start to really take that advantage of it. We all have an ability to be doing more. We have that possibility, and it's on us to see what it is that we can do to allow our lives to manifest the way that they want. Wish everybody so much success. Thank you, Laura, commented. And we'll see everybody in the next one. I was really passionate about this. Sorry, I just got done journaling about it. So it was something that I felt was necessary, because a lot of times on these talks, I literally just talk to myself, because sometimes I ask myself the question, is it really possible? Is it really possible? And I think today we might have answered just a little bit, just a small percentage of that. And as long as we stay in it, we'll be able to get it. Wishing everybody the best of luck. See you in the next one. Peace out.